I'm so excited for you. This video might just blow you away. You might think, why hasn't anyone ever told me about this before? Well, it's because you weren't listening to me at the time. This is an incredible way to save a little bit of time and sometimes a lot of time at the post office. If you go every single day, if you go every 5 days, this is how you're going to save a lot of time. Once you do it the first time, it's going to take you a little longer. Once you do it the second time, it'll take you a little longer. Once you do it the fifth time, you'll be going, wow, I wish I'd known this years ago. eBay doesn't make this feature known very well. I'm going to make it known to you. I'm going to also show you several tips along the way that you're going to really be surprised at when it comes to mailing packages. And I'm going to show you 1 or 2 warnings that you need to avoid. This is one of those videos, I don't get on and do this a lot, to preface a video with, you need to watch to the end, because everyone does that and it's just clickbait. It's just to get more time on YouTube. I'm telling you, this one is really worth the watch. Trust me, I know what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is helping you a whole lot in your business. So put your seats in their upright position and hang on as best you can. Here we go. Did you hear about the midwife who called the post office? She needed help delivering a baby. As eBayers, you're at the post office a whole lot, or that's our goal. I want you to be at the post office a whole lot. I want you to just hate every single day, because the post office is a trip that you have to take. You've got to spend all this time at the post office. That means you're making a lot of sales. That's a good problem to have. Now, at least in the United States, and I suspect Canada and most other countries, as long as you print your mailing labels through eBay, you can just take all your packages to the postal counter and leave them, and they will take them and mail them that day sometime, maybe. This is the government. They may or may not do their job. One thing they almost never do consistently is scan your packages in. They just ship them off to the regional office. The problem with that is, what if that truck catches fire between your post office and the regional office? Your packages are gone and there's no proof you left them at the post office. The only answer is to stand in the line and get every package scanned that you mail every single day. I know it's a hassle. Some post offices, more of the local rural, how do you say that word? Rural post offices out in the country, those smaller towns, those usually will scan your packages, and they'll tell you that they'll do that. So they don't have much else to do. Big city, medium city post offices, they often won't, or they won't do it consistently. Now, what they're supposed to do is every single package that you leave on their counter, they're supposed to scan those before they sort and route everything to the regional office. But they almost never do, at least not consistently. This is a danger for you as an eBay seller. You want proof that you dropped off every single package that you left that day, in case, again, heaven forbid, a mail truck catches on fire on the way to the regional office with mail of yours they haven't scanned in yet. You can't prove that you left it. You can go to the little kiosk out front. A lot of eBayers do this. I've talked about it before in various places, and you can scan all of your packages in. You'll get a receipt that says you scanned all your packages in, and then you can take them up to the counter, and the post office will take them from there. That receipt you get at the kiosk is not evidence that you left the package. It's evidence that you scanned them, but you could take a $5,000 Rolex you're selling home after scanning it and then say, well, I scanned it. Obviously, the post office has it. And I don't think any of you would do that. But this is why when you scan at the kiosk, it's no evidence that you actually left a package. That doesn't do you any good. So good or bad, and it's usually bad, the post office should do their job, but they're the government. They don't care. I promise you, if you leave a package at UPS or FedEx, they are going to scan that package in. That's their job. They care because they have a lot to lose. The government loses billions and billions every decade, billions and billions. They don't care. So they don't have to do their job. You, however, you have to do your job. You have to stand in those lines and get every package scanned. That can take a while. What if you've got 25 packages on Monday after a weekend? What if you've got 50 packages? It takes a long time. It's a hassle. Now, eventually your post office will let you take that many per day around back and skip the line and ring the bell out back and get the packages in, and they'll usually scan them if you beg them. All of that. But in general, most eBayers in business who sell almost every day, you must go to the post office and scan your packages. There's an exception. If you only have 1 or 2, you can let your postal carrier pick up the packages and he will scan those. The mailman will scan those. If you've got 20 packages, the mailman will take them and scan them, but you don't want to do that to your mailman. Good or bad, it's still best to take your packages to the post office, stand in the lines, and make sure every single one of them is scanned. There is a way to do that faster, and I'm about to show you. You still have to stand in the lines, but you can take all of your packages up there. You can have 20 packages to mail that day, and the postal clerk only has to scan 1 barcode, not every single package there. There is a scan sheet. Amazon resellers will be familiar with scan sheets. eBay has scan sheets. They work great. You can print 1 barcode and the postal clerk will scan that barcode and all your packages are immediately scanned into the system. The clerk takes them, puts them, throws them wherever they put them, and then you're on your way with one scan. That's a whole lot better than your postal clerk scanning 20 packages while more and more people get to the post office, make the line longer, they're mad at you, they're mad at the clerks, you're slowing them down. What do? You have to do this though. It's your business. You have to have proof that you mailed your packages. I'll show you how to do the scan sheet. It's pretty simple. All you do is go to your orders awaiting shipment, manage your orders awaiting shipment. Now, I actually have that up here, a link on my bar, because I do this every day. I'm always wanting to know what orders are waiting. I need to print mailing labels. The way you do that is go to your orders waiting shipment pages in your seller hub. Now it says I have 5. That's a little misleading. I actually printed some labels earlier. I wish I had not done that, but I realized later I need to do this really helpful video for you. So one of these is, and I could have edited out the exceptions, but I think exceptions are good. Because you're going to do the same thing and you're going to have an exception and say, well, he didn't tell me how to handle this. Well, I'm going to tell you. This was a long time ago, like over a month ago, I sold these 2 sets of National Geographics, and it was a local pickup. And I delivered them, and they scanned the little local pickup thing, and everyone was happy. She left feedback. I left feedback. It's all done. And eBay still has this local pickup on my awaiting shipment page. But it says picked up March 12th. eBay's happy with it. eBay knows it was picked up. eBay knows I did my job. eBay's not going to ding my account for this. But for some reason, they haven't erased it yet. My guess is 60 days after the pickup, it will go away, because a lot of things like this stay on eBay for 60 days. So this is not one that needs to be mailed, but I do have 4 items that need to be mailed. This vintage Sunbeam egg poacher, $69 for this egg poacher. That's unbelievable. I think my wife paid a quarter for it. A Bible. Bibles are good. I've done videos on that. A 1990s Batman hardback book, and then a very low cost Silver Surfer comic book. It only went for $4.18 because I took an offer, and I'm fine with that once in a while. All you need to do is click up here, Actions, and what it does is it selects all 5 items that need to be shipped today, all 5 items that need to have a mailing label printed. Only I'm going to unclick this because it's a local pickup from way back. Okay, that's the exception. But I have 4 items right now for awaiting shipment. And what you do is you don't do individual shipping labels like you probably do now. Before this video, you probably would have come down and wrapped the Sunbeam egg poacher and did get shipping label, print the label, slap it on. Go to the next one, wrap the New Jerusalem Bible, print the mailing label, slap it on, and so forth. You don't do that anymore if you want a scan sheet, and you should. So I'm going to click Actions, which selects everything to be shipped today. I'm going to unclick this eBay error, and I now have 4 items ready to ship. And instead of doing individual mailing labels, what you want to do is go back up to the top, get shipping labels. So I'm going to click that. And that puts all 4 in sort of a bulk BULK label system. Now, assuming that you've got them already wrapped and weighed, then you can fill out all of this data down here. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to fill out all of this data. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I filled in the 4 pieces of data that we need: ground advantage, the weight, the package size, and so on. Select all, and I want to print all 4 mailing labels in one fell swoop. It's really nice to be able to do this, just to print all of your labels at once. The danger of that is you put the wrong labels on the wrong package. You've got to make sure that you label those wrapped packages very well, or you're going to put the wrong label on the wrong package, and 2 of them are going to go to the wrong buyers, and you've got to swap them, and it's going to be a big mess. So I'm warning you, that's a big danger with printing all of your mailing labels at once. I strongly suggest wrap everything, wrap and package, weigh your boxes, and then you should do what I do. Actually, that's the best eBay advice you could get in the history of the universe. Do what I do. When I wrapped each of these 4 packages, knowing that I was going to print all of the labels at once and a scan sheet that's coming up, so I can just basically wait in line, but the postal worker only has to scan one thing. If I had 50 packages today, the postal worker, I use that term lightly, only has to scan 1 item. What I do each time I wrap each one of these boxes is I put the weight, I put the dimensions, and I put the first name and last initial of the person it goes to, so that whenever I print all these mailing labels, I make sure that I get the right label on the right person's package. Notice I added a little, I don't know if you can read this or not, added a little label here. What I do is I have a label that says recycled and reused to reduce waste. See that? I put that on every package where it's not a brand new box. I might put it on the top and maybe one of the sides or a couple of the sides. I put one of these little labels. You can use an FNSKU label if you used to be an Amazon reseller and now you're joyful in life because you quit that and you still have a bunch of those FNSKU labels. That's good for these, but I always put recycled and reused to reduce waste. That way I'm kind of justifying using an older box. Now, it's a sturdy box. It's safe. I would never use a dirty box. I would never use a box that has been compromised, bashed up, and all of that. But whenever I reuse a box that I didn't buy as a new box, I always put recycled and reused to reduce waste. That's just good PR. That's letting your buyer know I reduced waste. Now, the waste happens to be my expenses. I didn't have to buy this box. That's also good for the buyer. The buyer, eventually, the price doesn't go up because I buy boxes all the time. It's good for everybody. The people that worship the creation itself, they love this because they think it saves the planet. It doesn't, but they think that. So everyone's happy-pappy. But the big thing here is I write the size of the box, the weight, and who it goes to, first name, last initial, so that when I print these 4 labels real fast, I will get them on the right box. The right name goes on the right box. Okay, I'm about to click that confirm and pay button, and when I do, all 4 of my labels are going to spit out. Now, for those of you who have been hesitating to get a label printer, this will show you why you need a label printer. I'm clicking confirm and pay now. I'm now going to click the print labels button, and away we go. Done. Now, if there were 20, if there were 30, if there were 50, it's not much slower than what you just saw. It's all very fast when you print them all at once like that. And the back of these labels is one long sheet that you can use for dunnage. After you've printed 20 or 30 or 40 labels, roll that up after you've taken your labels off and use that very thin backing, paper backing of these labels as dunnage in your packages. Anytime that you need to fill up a little bit of room, just wad it up. It's very lightweight. It doesn't really add to the shipping weight of your packages. All right, let's go back to the computer screen, shall we? Okay, when you return to your bulk labels page, you will see this link that says Scan Forms. That's where you can print one form that the postal clerk will scan once instead of having to scan all 4 packages. Whenever you click Scan Forms, here it is. You go down and it says, one scan form is available today. So I'm going to click Generate, and it will generate a form that I can print onto paper to have scanned. Now, all 4 of my packages will instantly be in the postal system whenever they scan this one piece of paper. eBay's given us kind of like a warning, but it's actually a helpful tip. And that is, you print the scan forms after you've done all packages. Well, duh, but sometimes you'll be doing all of your labels and everything as I just showed you, and then another cell comes in, and you have time to wrap it and take it to the post office as well. What you can do is go ahead and wrap it. Just be sure and print the label through that bulk label screen. Don't go to print mailing label from your sold list. Go to the same screen, click to select that item, and then go print shipping label to get to the box screen. And you've only got one label to print, but you print that one label. And what happens is that will be added to your daily scan sheet. So you don't have to print everything at once as long as you go to that screen. You can even do one at a time labels as long as you go to that bulk label screen and just print one label. That will make sure that you don't get the wrong label on the wrong package. You wrap a package, you go to that bulk label screen, you just select one, you enter all the data, you print that one label, you slap it on that package, then you wrap your next one. But as long as you are printing labels from the bulk label screen, your scan form will always be updated. Thank you, eBay. So now I can generate this. It says it's been generated. I'm going to click OK and go to where it says to go. And here it is down here. I'm going to now print it. And as you can see, this is one code that you can print for all your packages. 4 total. 2 were ground and 2 were ground advantage. Now the 2 that say ground, that's actually media mail. And then the comic book and the other item I have to ship ground advantage. But comic books you can't ship media mail because they have advertising in them. So all I have to do is print this one piece of paper, which I will do now. Okay, 2 more things that are pretty critical. When it's 4 labels, who cares? The postal clerk can scan 4 packages individually. You don't have to do a scan sheet if you consider this to be extra work. But if you've got 25 packages, you only do one scan sheet. You do the same thing as I just showed you for 25 packages, and there's still just one thing to scan whenever you take all of your boxes up to the clerk at the counter. And your clerk scans in all 25 packages, shuffles them all to wherever they go, and everyone's happy except one problem, and only one problem exists. Now, consider this scenario. I know this is a longer video than usual. Stay with me. This is an amazing thing. All of this scan sheet and all of the ways that you can take advantage of this really will save you time over time. If you normally ship 5 packages every single day, now you just have one scan sheet. That extra time is going to add up over weeks, months, and years. You're in this for the long haul, I assume. How does the post office and eBay know that if I say I have 4 packages to go with this scan sheet, and I put 4 packages up on the counter, and one of them is a $5,000 Rolex watch? It's supposed to be, but I swapped out the Rolex with an empty box that I put my own label on, and I'm mailing it to myself. How does the post office and eBay know that that Rolex was one of these 4 boxes they scanned in? They don't. However, The post office, if you have insurance on your packages and you don't scan them one at a time, the post office will not honor insurance if something happens to that package. So you have a $5,000 Rolex that you print using this bulk label printing method I showed you, and you have scan sheet and everything, and the post office scanned in the scan sheet, and you truly did mail that $5,000 Rolex. That was one of these 4 that you actually mailed, but the post office will say, we don't really know that was one of the 4 that you might have given us. You might have given us an empty box you're mailing to yourself. We don't know where these 4 packages are supposed to go to. The post office will not honor your insurance if they damage the package or it gets lost in the mail or things like that. Therefore, items such as Rolex or anything over $100, I would still do an individual mailing label. That way you're protected with the full insurance. And then all of the other items that you're mailing for today, go ahead and do a bulk label and get the 1 scan sheet. So in that case, the postal clerk will scan 2 labels. They'll scan the Rolex watch label as well as the scan sheet that has everything else. Number 2, how does eBay know to honor these 4 that you actually shipped? The Rolex is one of those 4 if you don't do it separately. Now let's forget about Rolex. What if every one of these items was under $20 and one of them doesn't arrive? eBay doesn't really know for sure that all 4 of those packages was one of those that you were supposed to mail to that buyer. eBay doesn't have any evidence of that. You printed off a label, that doesn't mean you shipped it. One of these 4 boxes could be a box to yourself that you're just mailing yourself. eBay has told me on national radio, on the eBay for Business podcast. I've been mentioning them a lot lately, but I was on that thing a whole lot. And eBay actually told me in person that as long as you do a scan sheet, eBay will honor all 4 packages, and they will believe you that you actually did mail all 4 of those items. eBay will use that as evidence that you mailed on time, and you will never get harmed by a late shipment or you never mailed it or anything like that. So if you do a scan sheet, eBay honors it. The post office doesn't honor it if they smash it up. So expensive things over whatever dollar amount you want to do a separate label by itself, but everything else, eBay will honor all 4 of those packages as being sent, and the proof they will use is the 1 scan acceptance. Now that's kind of eBay. eBay doesn't really have to believe us that we actually, all 4 of these were actually what we said they were once we put everything on the counter. But eBay does believe us, and eBay has said that they actually went down and asked their shipping department for me. They said, we will honor a scan sheet if an item gets lost in the mail. We will honor a scan sheet to prove that the shipper shipped on time to the correct address. So that's great. I know this video took a little bit longer, but it was full of traps that you need to avoid and tips that you need to be doing, and it's going to save you a lot more time than it's taken to watch this going forth.